Sure.
Stand by.
Ma'am, your card has been denied. I'm sorry, son. You didn't make the team. Honey, we're being evicted. I'm sorry, sir, but you didn't pass the entrance exam. You're not going to get in. I just can't do this anymore. I want to break up with you. We have all failed in life. Each and every one of us has fallen short and just not been good enough. And few people can forgive themselves for it. But if we can learn to forgive ourselves for our failures, we can grow. We can empathize with others, and we can find freedom in who we are. If we can forgive ourselves for our failures, we can have growth in our lives. I started playing golf when I was 8 years old. It was my grandpa's lifelong love affair, and he passed that on to me. I loved playing the game, and by the time I reached high school, I was proficient. I loved playing golf, and I made the high school girls golf team. We won every single tournament that year in region, and by the time we made it to state, I figured we were a shoo-in. I thought there was no way we couldn't win. But as the scores came in that day, I realized that we would not be winning. In fact, we were going to lose. I was devastated. Each and every one of my team members was devastated. I felt like I'd let down my family, my coaches, my teammates, and most importantly, maybe even myself. But what I didn't realize that day was that I would grow more from that experience than I would from the next 3 state championships, which we won. What I learned that day, my freshman year in high school, was to be a good sport, to be able to extend my hand to someone who had just beaten me and say, "Good job, congratulations, well done," and mean it. I grew from that experience, from that failure, in ways that I've never grown from successes. Not only can we grow when we learn to accept our failures, but we can learn to empathize with others. Over the course of the summer, I was able to be on a counseling team with 5 other people. We went throughout the Western United States counseling young people, sometimes in cabins, sometimes in tents. It was a tiring summer, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. Over the course of the summer, I got to meet a girl named Kathy. Kathy was beautiful, and she and I got along really well. One day we were walking, and we saw a flower. It was beaten and battered, it was withered, and just looked weary of life. It reminded me of her, because Kathy had been through everything. And there was no way I could understand her life, but there was one thing we had in common, and that was anxiety. She suffered far worse than I ever have, but there was still something I could relate to. And so when the anxiety attacks came, and she was off to the side in tears, I knew enough, I could empathize enough to just be there for her. Put my arm around her and say, "It's okay," or just say nothing at all. When we forgive ourselves for our failures, we no longer have to hide them from the world. We can open up about them and say, "Yes, here's what I've been through, here's what I've done or haven't done." But that's okay. I'm me. because when we learn to forgive ourselves for our failures, we can empathize with others and we find freedom in who we are. Growing up, I put very high standards on myself. I expected myself to do perfectly with my academics, my athletics, and just life in general. But it took a toll, because the fact is, I'm not perfect. So when those imperfections came, so did the anxiety attacks, the panic attacks, and the overwhelming fear that I just wasn't good enough. Over the past couple of years, I've had a progressive epiphany, and that is that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to fail sometimes, because that's what makes us who we are. So even though I can't blow bubbles to save my life, even though I'm the klutziest person I know, and even though I don't always get straight A's or win every golf tournament, I'm okay with who I am, because my failures are part of what makes me who I am. If there are failures in your life that you have not forgiven yourself for, I would encourage you to take a good look at them and see if there's a way you can forgive yourself for them. Because if you do, you can grow from them. You can learn things that you would never learn from abundant success. You can empathize with others in a meaningful and heartfelt way. And you can find freedom in who you are.